going to be having a fantastic conversation with JoannaJedrzejczyk, who is a formidable female fighter. She fought really to bring the women's strawweight division to where it is today in the UFC. And not only that, but the reason I wanted to have Joanna on here today is because she has such a great mind for growth. And when I'm talking about the Built for Growth podcast, I want to have people on here who are more than just athletes. When I talk to athletes, I want to be talking to the ones that are going to have the most insight of the transition through life and their stories through fighting, who made them who they are today, and the tidbits that we can take away from these extraordinary people. You know, Joanna is a multiple-time world champion. She is one of the best female combatants to ever do it, and she's recently inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. So, I mean, she really is a legendary figure, but more than that, she is so much more than that. And we really get into all of her, you know, the trials and tribulations and the things that made her the woman that she is today, and how she's learned so much from the hard hits she's taken in life and the losses that she's taken in life, as well as her wins. So it's a very deep conversation. I think that you will take away a lot of it, and I hope that you will be inspired by it, because I think after sitting down and really getting to pick Joanna's brain, I feel like I learned a lot, and I am more motivated for sitting down and having such a fantastic conversation with such a well-rounded human. So enjoy the listen. Joanna, I'm so excited to have you here today. First of all, congratulations on your recent induction to the Hall of Fame.
Much.
It is so cool. You're actually my first female fighter guest.
Oh, am I?
Yes.
Okay.
This whole podcast is really predicated on growth. So it's not just about MMA. So I'm excited to have you here, though, because I think of all the female fighters that I think of and all the male fighters, you know, you have what I consider a growth mindset.
Yeah, I do. But it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, where you're coming from, what's your religion, or the like status of your family, or gender, orientation, color of your skin. You can be whoever you want to be. Just it's all about putting the right mind into your head and believing in it. And that's why I start with this one. That's why I run my foundation, JJ Stars Foundation, in Poland. But I want to help kids, not only talented in sport, with sport, how is it? In sport?
Yeah.
In sports. But it doesn't matter if it's sport, business, science, education, or art in general. You have to put the right mind, like put the right thing into your head, into your mind, you know, to make it true, you know, to make it real.
Yeah. So how did you know that fighting was going to be for you?
Yeah, I didn't know. I was full of energy since I was a little girl. And I'm a twin. I have a twin sister, but we are totally different, you know. I was always full of energy, playing with the boys, playing with the girls. So I was playing basketball, and I got some health issues when I was 13, 14. So we found out that my liver was just growing too fast, my age. So I had to stop training. I had to go on diet because I was quite chubby when I was a teenager. So I was chubby, and I was like, oh, I didn't feel like it was my complex, but I didn't feel good with my weight, the way I was looking. So I decided to lose a few kilograms, but I was like, you're never going to be an athlete. You are just too fat. Your parents are not an athletes. You do not deserve this or that. But I'm happy that my whole life, not only like fighting career, is a provement that you can make it to the top. You can live your American dream. You know,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I teach these young kids because I do so many speeches, not only for big companies like McDonald's, Netflix, Procter and Gamble in Poland, like in English and in Polish, but I also do speeches for kids and teenagers at schools or foster cares, you say?
What?
Foster cares?
Oh, foster.
Foster
Foster kids?
Oh, foster kids. So I always tell them, like, if your parents are lawyers or doctors or they run a business, doesn't mean you have to do the same things. They show you, like, they teach you, they share the experience, the knowledge with you, they show you the door, the directions, but you don't have to go this direction if you do not feel going this direction.
Or even
you know?
if your parents have no education and they didn't even
Yes,
graduate
of
high
course,
school,
of course.
it's not a limitation
Of course,
or an
of
expectation.
course. That's the thing. But
Yeah.
sometimes we feel like, so people put us in boxes because of, and we feel like we do not deserve better life, or just better, in general, or
Yeah.
succeed.
So you're from Poland, you currently live in Poland, but you just said something about the American dream.
Yeah.
I mean, is this something that's like, is there such a thing as like a Polish dream, or what is the difference culturally? Or why did you grow up with that? Like, hey, I want the American dream, or what does that mean?
Yeah, it's just the same, an American dream, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, So, but the thing is that, I was born right after the communism, so, and in 87. So there were some things missing in Poland, but I mean, like, I was a very happy child, I had an amazing childhood. You say, no, childhood?
Yeah,
No,
childhood.
the time,
Yeah.
childhood. So, but yeah, there's something about, America was like few steps ahead. So we always dreamed about like Coca-Cola back in the day, or some bicycles, bikes or toys. We didn't have in Poland that time. So I remember when my uncle from the States shipped a bike for me and my sister. We felt so different in the hood, we got bikes from America, for the first communion, but it was amazing. But somehow I felt like I always wanted to do big things. I was always looking at the big picture, and of course I love my country, and everything started there, and I became who I am today because of where I was born and raised, but culture-wise as well. But I always wanted to go like globally, and America is the world, for me. So, and I was a little girl, I was dreaming about trip to New York, but back in the day, there was not so many like flight connections, and it wasn't this easy. But yeah, but now in 21st century, the world is open for everyone,
And not only did
Everybody.
you get to New York,
Yeah.
but we actually fought on the same
Yeah.
card in New York, the very first inaugural
UFC
event.
205.
205.
Was
Was it two?
No, was it?
It had to be after 200.
Yeah,
had to be
205. It was 205. Was
yeah.
the first UFC event in New York State and New York City and at Madison Square Garden. But so I was always dreaming about trip to New York, and when I closed my eyes, I every time I saw the panorama, the view from Long Island on Manhattan, panorama,
Panorama, yeah.
panoramas from the Long Island side, but few years later, my face and your face was hanging on at Times Square, or I was fighting at the mecca of martial arts or entertainment in general at the Madison Square Garden. It was amazing,
So then let me back up, because you said something really powerful, I think, that a lot of people can resonate with, is not feeling like they deserved this. You were looking at yourself as a young woman coming into your womanhood, and you're like, no, I'm not an athlete. I couldn't be this. I'm not that. My parents aren't. I don't have any reason to believe that I could. So how does that change for you?
I mean, how
like, how did it change? Like, when did your mind change? Like, when did you go from thinking, I can't do that, I'm not.
The thing is, like, I was just myself, and I was just trying to be better than I was yesterday. I was not only trying to race with people who I was, for example, training with. I just wanted to be better version of myself with every single day. And this is what made me the best athlete and world champion one day, Even back in the day when I was competing in Muay Thai for almost a decade, or boxing. But I don't know where's the change. I was like a big dreamer, but I'm very realistic person, so yeah.
It's so interesting because I've seen your face-offs, I've seen your fights, and I would, from the outside, look at you and say, that is a woman who knows her worth, who knows
Yeah.
her strength, who just knows it. But I feel like maybe it was just a slow change, but you said something that surprised me. I wouldn't have thought of you. First of all, I can never
Yeah.
picture you. I can't picture you chubby. I need to see a
Yeah.
picture in order to believe
Yeah.
it. But I also feel like you went from a place of, I don't think this is what, like, I could never fit this mold. I'm not, that's not me. My parents aren't like that. I'm not like that. I'm not an athlete. And then all of a sudden you maybe start to do this and like, then you become the best and you never show a shadow of doubt in yourself. Like never, no matter who you're fighting, all the best people in the world.
Very often inside I was like, maybe not confident, because you have to be confident to reach the highest, but somehow I was like, okay, that's the room. This room is full of queens. I will try to be the best one, the strongest one. So here I was sometimes this little girl from back in the day, but I was trying to be at my best every single time, momentum of my life, But the change was slow. I don't know how. I always felt that I was born to reach the stars, Peraspera ad astra. And yeah, that's the thing.
That's so, yeah.
It's difficult for me because I don't remember, but I was always very like confident person.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the amount of work I was putting in every single day, no matter what I was doing, and even till now, I'm a workaholic. So yeah.
When did you start fighting? When did you find the sport?
I was 16. So a friend of mine, like ex-boyfriend of my older sister, he wanted to impress her that he has such a good relationship with me. So he took me to the gym, and I fell in love from the first training. I didn't fall in love with like beating, kicking people, letting my aggression like go. I fell in love with like breaking my own limits. It was like every training was like I felt like I was walking on the edge, and it was up to me if I make it further or not, And this is what brought the fire in me, And so I was training twice a week, first 2-3 months. I had the first pro sparring, and I felt different because all the people were like nervous, paralyzed. And I was like, okay, I'm nervous, but I kind of like this feeling. And I was right there, They let me shine. I shined as the brightest star. And that's the thing. And I fell in love from the first training. So I used to do climbing and taking pictures before. But martial arts like Muay Thai took everything,
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So I was always counting my reps, and I was counting the reps of my friends, and I was like, okay, who's better? Am I good, better? I was always like this. So, yeah.
Yeah, always striving to be your best every day.
Yeah.
And I think that is such an important part, because I feel like there may have been a time early on when I focused on that when I was in wrestling, because I was competing against primarily males. And so I usually didn't win. So for me, it was never about winning.
Yeah.
It was just about trying to be my best.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, actually,
I'm a girl and I can kick your ass,
Yeah, I'm just going to try my best. Well, for me, actually, I wished that could have even been my objective, but I was honestly usually getting my ass kicked. But I learned 2 really valuable things. Like, one, I'm tough. And I think if I had never done this sport, I would have never discovered just how tough I am. That's probably one of the things I'm the most grateful for.
Yeah, and so I started training because of I wanted to lose a few kilograms. But this is what what you just have said. Like, sport makes you strong, not only physically but mentally, because you breaking your own limits with every single training. with every combination, every rep, that's the thing.
Yeah. And I think I lost sight of that for a while, though, where once I started fighting and I started putting so much pressure on myself to win, then I began focusing so much on the win. And I became so afraid of the loss that I would only do enough to win. I wouldn't do my best.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't until this very most recent fight of mine that I was like, you know what?
Let me just enjoy it.
That's it. Like, let me just take the limits off. Like, no win, no loss. Just be my best.
But I think it's because of the pressure we put on ourselves, and also because of fans, the organization, managers, sponsors. And we forget why we started, we forget how much we enjoy this part of our lives, and it's super important. I feel like I lost it as well, but I didn't realize it on time. And so guys, never lose happiness, in everything you do. If you love it, just do it with full of passion. And very often we put too much pressure on ourselves,
I think so too. And I think we absorb the pressure of everyone else because we live in a culture that prides winning over everything.
And especially in our sport, you can't take second, you win or you lose or you learn, but you can't go 3 days later or a week later and have another fight, another game like they do in different sports. You just have to, it's a hard pillow to swallow. This is how we say it? Yeah. Absolutely. So that's the thing, and it takes time, to digest, and but that's the beauty of the sport as well.
Yeah. Are you big on visualization? Did you do that a lot throughout your career?
Not really. Like I never worked with any mental coach or a physician, like a psychologist, but maybe I wished, but I didn't have like this. So I was like, it was more in me, I was like the whole camp. I was like motivating myself that, hey, you're going for the win. Train hard. You're going for the win. I was visualizing the victory, of course. You have to think about victory if you're going into the fight or competition, because it's affirmation, and it's super important. But now with all the tools they have, the mental coaches, psychologists, it's just better. You can be just better fighter, better athlete. Yeah, I agree.
I used to visualize a lot, and I still try to work on visualization because I feel like it helps in a number of ways. Because if you think about being there and what you want out of that moment, it's not going to be as scary when you get there because you are going to feel like you've already been there like thousands of times in your mind. Yeah. Right? So I think this helps.
Mateusz Gamrot is good at it. Yeah. He does good stuff before the fights, He's good at it. Yeah.
But I think I don't know if this was a good thing or a bad thing, but I always used to visualize all aspects of the fight, which I think served me well. I used to visualize like the winning part, but I also used to visualize getting knocked down and coming back.
Oh, really?
I really used to think about this because I kind of planned for that the worst could happen and like how you can't keep me down.
So that's a good one. I had this one like before my last fight, and like before every fight, I say, okay, when they knock you down, don't try to stand up because you're gonna look like a dumb person, like shaking, like so trying to keep the balance. Second. So just hold on a second.
Yes.
Hold on. Hold on for a second. Yeah.
Well, the last one was against Wei Li, right?
Yeah, but you know what's funny? I fell asleep in this position with my one hand under my forehead and belly. That's funny, actually, but it was good.
That was crazy fight. What do you think that you are gonna miss the most about this sport? The competition.
I'm still missing, and the good thing is, I'm managed by an amazing woman, Jennifer Goldstein. She's super smart and beautiful at the same time, and so. It took me a while. I'm still processing, but first 8 months after I retired were very hard. So there was not a day that I was not trying to call Dana, Hunter, Jennifer, Dan Lambert, the ATT owner, and talk about me coming back. But the thing is that Jenny was the one who was like, what I was like, I miss fighting. I miss fighting. What do you miss the most? The lights, the people, the show, the weight cut, the camp, the preparation, the fight. And then I had to sit and like think about it. Yeah, what do I really miss? Then I was like, okay, no need more belts, no need more money. I'm enjoying like being not on diet anymore, this and that. And then you look at all these points and you're like, do I really miss this? But I do. There is something about MMA and fighting in general. I miss the discipline, you know. I miss this discipline. Yeah, that's the most I miss.
You know, when I talked about this most recent fight for me and really changing my mindset, you know, taking off the limit of the box of win, lose, and just be best, I really feel like I started to expand on who it is that I am besides like just a fighter. And also, what am I going to replace these things with? Because sometimes the driving factor, you know, like when you're talking about this, what do you miss? Well, maybe it's that you haven't found something at that time to put in the place of, you know, so you take something
I agree,
away,
and I do not
but like
agree.
what's going to fill this place?
So I read this case about Dwayne Wade, legendary basketball player, yeah. And there's a saying that his mom told him, like, so remember, son, there is something more besides basketball court, you know, and like we all can take something from this, you know, saying. And that's right. But the thing is that I was always super busy person, you know. I have so many hobbies, so many passions, and I do bunch of stuff. There was a time I was making more money outside the octagon than in the octagon, and but I was still missing this, you know. I was like, so that's the thing. So after I retired, I was super busy. I was involved in like 15 projects. So I traveled the world. I was making money, etc., etc. But I was still missing this, and I don't know what's about. And if they didn't inducted me to the Hall of Fame, I would be probably thinking more about coming back out of retirement, you know. And even till now, after they introduced me to the Hall of Fame, I'm like, dude, I think I still want to fight. But
well,
that's
Jose Aldo did it, so.
Yeah, but I want to be more like Khabib, you know. I want to be loyal to my decisions, and I retired because of some purpose, because I didn't want to get hit to the head anymore, you know, because in the future I want to be a mom, I want to be a businesswoman, I want to do things, you know, and I don't want this sport to take some more from me, you know, and then the exposure I will get, maybe the belt I could possibly win in a few fights, or the amount of money, they will not bring my health back. That's the thing.
Yeah.
No,
I'm with you on
so
that.
I do racing. So racing is the only sport, like cross country on the desert. I want to race the Dakar race.
Wait,
very
in
dangerous.
a vehicle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Buggy or car. I just got back from Dubai where I was training. But I did 2 races already in
I
Poland.
heard that they want more females in this sport.
They do. But that's the only sport. But it's totally opposite, you know. So in our sport, we do this work, you know. Like we get tired, like physically and mentally as well. But racing is totally different. Okay, you have to be ready physically, but it's more your head is working during the race, you know.
Yeah.
You have to keep an eye on everything, like do so many things in one time. But you get you get tired mentally and then physically, you know. You're losing so much weight in the car, you know, especially driving on the desert, you know. But the thing is, like, that's the sport gives me this chill, you know. Maybe because of it's dangerous, unpredictable, like fighting, maybe. Yeah, but it's amazing.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a good viable replacement
Yeah.
that you don't have to get hit in the head to do.
Yeah.
Would you ever do any grappling? I mean, I know that's.
I want to. I'm dying to get back on the mat. So I had the surgery last year, shoulder surgery, and it's much better. I do not have like 100% range movement, you say, but my another shoulder is fucked up. Guys, so when you're an athlete so I went from 3 trainings a day. So the thing is, it was 8 months after I retired. I got back to American Top Team for a month and I was like, okay, take it easy, 4 weeks of training. You decide if you're coming back or not. 4 weeks. Later, I was like, then the owner of ATT, my American father, I was like, then Jennifer, I'm coming back. And then the next day, my shoulder got so fucked up. It took me 2 months to bring the inflammation down to get into the medical procedure. But so I went from 3 trainings a day to 0. You know how my body and head felt? Like my weight went like up and down. My head was going crazy. I couldn't do anything for 12 weeks, just walking, you know? So I was walking with the cast every day, like 10, 15K, you know? But it's difficult to get back, honestly. So when you're an athlete and when you're retired, it takes time to bring the training down. But I hope and I wish I will be back one day, like fully to training. And because of I was not able to train, I got myself in work more. Is it correct if I say like this?
Yes.
So I'm a workaholic, but I chose this, you know, and I'm enjoying working, you know. And the hard work was when I was working 16 hours or 10 hours at the grocery store, you know.
Yeah.
And training and studying and competing during weekends. Yeah, that's the thing. So now I'm just grateful and thankful for who I am. And it's because of UFC, Dana, Lorenzo, that time, the people, you know.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
absolutely.
They gave me a chance, and I just took it.
I love it. You are somebody who
so I want to do jiu-jitsu competition, ADCC one day. I hope I'm gonna get this. They give this extra, like how they call this ticket, like so you don't have to qualify. They just give you this ticket. Of course, it's a shortcut, but guys, but I hope I can
like a super fight. I think
a super fight. So I will. I would love to.
Yeah,
I would love to. I was training with Cezary Matuda. Cezary, I miss you, but we have very good grapplers in Poland as well.
That's good. Well, it's
I would love to
get your body healthy. But I know what you're saying. It's. I remember when I retired. After the card, we fought in together, which ironically, I wanted to tell you, I don't really remember very much about fight week or even the fight because I was in my own personal journey and I was in a very like dark place at the time. And I was...
When I lost to Rose, me too.
Yeah.
It had to happen somehow. But I won my life. I won myself again, you know?
Yes, that's exactly a great way to say it. I lost the fight, but I won my life.
People saw me like very angry but I tell you guys, I wasn't myself. I mean, like, I knew everything what happened before the fight, the aggression, all the drama. But there were people who were creating this. Instead of, like, bringing me, like, calming me down, they put the fire into... Fucking devils are everywhere, you know? I'm telling you. Your closest people who you're working with, your friends, your family members, are fucking devils. So sorry for using this, but... Wow. I paid the ultimate price, but it had to happen sometimes. But I turned 30 years old in 2017. It was the worst time of my life. I lost my long-term like fiance at that time, like a month before the fight. And I'm not trying to give...
What do you mean you lost? Like you separated?
Excuses.
Separated?
Yeah, like separated.
Yeah.
So for 3 days, I'm a strong woman, but I was crying in bed. And I was living with perfect Ignacy at that time. And Paulina came to me and said, she called Mikey Brown. She told him, and she was like, Champ, I'm calling your management and calling UFC. We're pulling out of the fight. Mm-hmm. And that was my like thing to get back, you know, because I was like, what? I'm not going to fight? Like, I woke up and I was like, shit, no, I will. You know, and I went there. It was good camp, you know, because I gave such a good fight with Andreas 6 months before. I was like, no, I'm going there, you know. Big fight. Rose was like the next pretendant to the belt. I was like, no, that's a big fight. We have to do it. But I was in my dark spot, like you said. That's a good word, you know. And then everything what happened before the fight, the situation with the weight cut. Hey, I was 125. usually I was 125 getting to fight week on Tuesday, and every day I drop weight, and I was ready 115 on Friday. But that time, so my weight was 125 on Saturday, so I got to New York to do some media appearances, like, and my weight just went up to 160, and
What?
every day was the same, and it was not because of period, long travel, you know what I mean, and it was and that time I was not eating, and then I was working with these girls, and they were like, "You're gonna be fine. We're gonna be." Once to 160, just for no reason, from 125 to 160. And imagine me waking up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was same weight. I was like, it's impossible. I eat like probably 300 calories a day. And my cortisol went up because my body was stressing. And I was like, shit, what just happened? And I went through this like 14 hours weight cut. I thought I was going to die. This lady who was there with me from Perfectly Athlete, she was like, stop. You stop doing this. I was like, you know what? Probably tomorrow I will pay the ultimate price. But for me, it's a shame. I will feel embarrassed if I do not go on scale in the limit of 115. And if I do not gonna deliver to people, to fans, what they paid for. What they pay for, what they came for, from different parts of the world. So me walking to the fight, I felt my legs were like spongy.
Mm-hmm.
But some people, they will say again like, oh, excuses. No, it had to happen. I'm not taking anything from Rose. She was great champion. She's an amazing athlete. We have very good connection, and there's not a bad blood. But I was not the competitor that night, But it had to happen, so I could like reborn again.
Yes.
And I was at my darkness. How you say this? In my dark spot?
I was in a dark place.
That dark place, yeah. That's the thing. And you know what? I paid the ultimate price, but the next day I was like, okay, let's start from the beginning. You made it once. You did it once. You're gonna make it a few more times in the sport, in business, in any other like chapters of your life,
What was that next day for you? Like, how long did it take you to get through?
I remember I posted a picture. We had a hotel opposite the Madison Square Garden, and I posted a picture of me like with a small smile on the face on the balcony. And I don't know, I probably wrote something about like that the future is bright or whatever, and someone commented like, why are you smiling? And I was like, why I shouldn't be? You just lost the fight. And I remember I responded like, but I'm healthy, I have 2 hands, I woke up this morning and I can enjoy this beautiful day. I don't know what's the next day gonna look like, but man, I can enjoy another day of my life. And I noticed that I'm not only like a robot, I'm not only an athlete. There is something more outside fighting, outside the sport, And yeah, I lost some. We have to lose some to win some.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It was amazing. Of course, I was chasing the belt. The rematch with Rose was crazy. The training camp was crazy. The fight was like, so close. But I remember the training camp. I paid the ultimate price because of some people were not professional, like diet wise or nutrition wise. I don't wanna blame everything on them, but if you build a team, it's all about trust. You trust these people. You hire like strength conditioning coach, boxing coach. Mm-hmm. Some of them, they have mental coaches. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about trust. And what if they don't deliver? At the end, you're gonna be the one who gonna be not 100%, but you think they are. We all are just humans. We all do mistakes every single day. But I was crazy about perfection. That camp, so one of my coaches was like, no, that's enough, JJ. You work enough, more than enough. And I was like, I tell you when we stop. And I remember every single day, I was like down on my knees with every training. And then I was like, okay, so maybe that's enough. I come back later, you know. I remember I hired George Lockhart. I paid tons of money, just someone to run my diet, you know.
Yeah.
And then I saw that there is not a big recipe about, you know, diet. Like, I'm very glad, but I wish I started working with the PI early. Clint, and amazing Clint. I love you, man. And but all the UFC PI stuff, they are amazing. But yeah, but that's behind me. But I want people to know more, because what they see me only getting knocked out, being like bully before the fight. I was like, yeah, some people get it as a bully, but I was not bully, you know. Like, there were people who are like creating this drama. I of course, I was the one who's executing this, you know. Executing is the right word, yeah. But and I feel ashamed sometimes, but it wasn't me. Yeah.
Did you think?
I mean, I do not name on it, but it was me. But I feel like
right. So I
it
know
was
what
just
you're
too
saying,
much.
there's
You
a lot
know,
of influence. There's a lot of pressure.
the universe was just trying to like, hey, you in dark spot of your life, not only sport-wise, but there's so many bad people. Like, you have to lose something very important for you to see that you have to clear your patch, you know. Yeah, your pussy, they say. Yeah, pussy is the word of groupies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
When did you make the distinguishment between the winning and being okay with losses? You know, because for a long time in the UFC, like, you came in like you were such an integral part.
And really even in Muay Thai, you know, I was super successful, 6 times world Muay Thai champion and 5 times European Muay Thai champion. I lost maybe 5 fights or few fights, you know.
And were those fights very hard for you?
I had to learn how to digest the loss, you know. The loss. And yeah, it wasn't easy, but I do lose. I'm very happy that I lose in my life, personal life, every single day. I do fall every day. And since I remember, you know, and this is what made me stronger human, stronger woman, you know, woman and a stronger athlete. That's the thing. I love it. And people, when they look at my Instagram, now I travel so much, but in general, you know, they see all this fancy life. 10 years ago, I had not much, but I was happy because I had enough, you know, that time. But the thing is that people do not see the failures, you know, but I'm very honest person. I'm always real. And I always tell people the truth, you know.
Hey, sorry to interrupt this episode, but real quick, if you could take 2 seconds to subscribe and rate the BFG podcast or give it a thumbs up if you're listening on YouTube, this is the best way you could help support the growth of this podcast. A really simple act of kindness means so much. Every rating and subscription tells the algorithm to show more people this podcast. So we can't thank you enough for supporting my mission in providing opportunity for informed and transformed journeys.
What fight do you think that you learned the most from?
Probably Gadeya second, you know, because there's still such a bad blood. But hey, Gadeya, I gonna be the first one. Like, hey, forgive me, yeah, and like, I'm so sorry for the bad blood. So I'm very good with everyone in the UFC besides Gadeya. Even when she retired and when I retired, she was like, yeah, now we can fight the grappling match. I was like, what the heck is this, you know? But hey, Gadeya, come on. Love you, girl. So no more bad blood from my side.
Okay,
yeah.
So it's
that's it. So I like to keep it like this, and that's the thing. But yeah, I learned. So I'm thankful for every opponent, you know, in my fighting career. And I thank you, girls, because you made me better athlete, better fighter, better human, just in general, you know. But I remember the rivalry between me and Gadeya was so big. There was lots of tension, physically, mentally, and it was probably one of the hardest because of who she was, how tough she was. I became better. I couldn't walk because I was sprawling like probably 200 times a day, you know, or trying to bring the fight like on my feet. So yeah, so thank you, Gadeya, for making me a better fighter, and I succeed later more on because of the camp.
Yeah, I think those rivals are important in our career. I know that I'm very grateful for having Rhonda as a rival.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
It's not that we'll probably, sit down for tea anytime soon,
But would be nice.
I don't have the same feelings, I had for
Oh, yeah.
her. I was very frustrated, but a lot of it was my own inability to like deal with my own shortcomings, to deal with
you know
like
what?
my.
I watched a video on Instagram. I love Instagram because Instagram is not only about these fancy lives and being beauty after using all these filters. It's all about education as well. I have my I save like nice cooking recipes.
Yeah,
like
my
travel
algorithm's all,
places to
learning
travel, like
stuff.
hotels, blah blah. But so Pharrell Williams was talking to someone. Pharrell, is it? Pharrell, the singer, Pharrell,
Oh,
Phr.
well, maybe.
Pharrell.
What is it?
You know Pharrell? Yeah, Pharrell Williams.
Okay.
He was talking to someone. He's like, remember, don't let aggression take over you. You don't need to waste your energy. And I feel like me and you, we wasted too much energy.
100%.
And somehow I needed the sports aggression, but sometimes it was too much. For example, before the fight with Rose and other fights. But then okay, be confident, be aggressive, the sport side, the sport way. But don't let the emotions burn you out, Yeah, that's the good thing. Yeah, but
That's
I feel like
exactly-
we were on the same page first, same mood, same feeling, Yeah.
Maybe it's the fact we have the same birthday.
But we are. Yeah.
both Leos.
and Jennifer was born day before me, but different few years
you, Elias.
early.
Thank
But
you, by the way,
so many
for the
people, yeah.
input.
That thing. But it didn't come only from us. It didn't come only from us, from the other side as well. So when they saw me this confident, aggressive, they were like, she's bully. No, you don't see the other side of the coin, who is creating this,
Right. And well, there's also.
That's a rival.
It is. And there's a mental warfare happening before and during any fight.
Yeah.
There's always this aspect of trying to disassemble the person in any way possible, because that is the ultimate goal. I mean, when you see it, the physical part, but it begins before that, or at least it can. And even kindness can be a weapon also,
of course,
like people
of course.
taking you too lightly.
But so I had some signing before I came here, and I was signing the picture with Michelle Watterson, who I admire and I love her. And when I faced her, when I stepped into the octagon, and the fight was so nice, we were so chill, but then I had to slap myself in my head. JJ, you're not here to have a coffee or beer with Michelle Watterson. You can do that after the fight. You can do this after the fight. But now, take care of your business, because I was like, oh, Michelle, but she made me soft, that. Yeah, but that's the thing. But there are athletes who needs this aggression, and we should let them do this, And there are fighters who are very calm, very introverted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing. But so we were talking about pressure, but what I want to say, we all have own world championships. We all do. If you want to be a fighter, you don't have to be a UFC fighter. If you dream about UFC, do everything you can to get to the UFC, Chase your dreams. But if you're going to be the champ of smaller organization, that's fine. That was your main goal. That was your championship. For some people, just waking up, going to be a championship, We all do have own championships in our lives every single day. And we all should respect. If someone doesn't fight, somebody doesn't want to fight for the UFC, simply the best MMA organization in the world, that's fine. We know where's the league, but for us, this is our championship.
Yeah.
They can have totally different point of seeing their championships. So we be good with it, and don't try to people to put too much pressure on you guys, just be you, enjoy it,
Yeah, and don't wait. That's the biggest thing
Oh,
too.
don't wait.
Don't
For
wait.
sure. Even if you cry, girls, because of some, don't cry too long. Crying is good. So clean yourself, but not too long, because life is
don't live there. You
yeah,
can't live
life
in
is
it.
too beautiful, And I always tell my friend taught me this, first word, first step is the middle of road, because we're afraid to take the first step. we're afraid to say some, but just start doing this. First step, step by step. If you say the first word, you're gonna start talking, speaking, you know what I mean, or taking another steps. Just take one step. We don't want you to be the world champion. Just take one step, you know.
Yeah.
And everything gonna be fine. You will find the direction, you know.
Yes, and be a little bit okay, or a lot. In our case, I think with get comfortable being uncomfortable. Like push the edge of the envelope.
I'm sick of saying
limits.
like I use this very often. Like get out of your comfort zone, you know. You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you really set your goals very, very high, for example, fighting for the best MMA organization in the world, which is UFC, so sorry, but you have to get dirty somehow. I manage people too, and like you good, you talented, you like a prospect, but there's something missing. You don't want to get dirty. You need to get dirty. So I mean, like putting in like much more work to get there where you want to be. Yeah, pushing your limits. This is who I was from the day one when I started training. A little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit better. Step by step. Became big, but small steps.
Yeah, and if you don't ever start, then you're never going to have those opportunities to really grow, to really learn, to really discover yourself.
Like people are, am I not too old for starting this or that? You are never too old. In 10 years, you're going to say like, oh, why I didn't start
then.
Or why I haven't started yet. You know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying sometimes, oh, I'm too old for this. I'm like, girl, okay, maybe you're not 25 anymore, but come on. You're going to be old in 10 years.
Yeah, I still have a lot to live for
of
sure.
Course.
And these, these opportunities that life, I go back to when I was in wrestling, and I went out for wrestling because I didn't like basketball, So I think it's important to not always know what you do like, but know what you don't like at least. And I went out for wrestling not because I loved wrestling. I just wanted a sport to do. It was actually like out of default, like, I guess if that's the only thing left, it's not as bad as basketball. That's the reason. And I really just was like, so okay.
And look where it brought you.
Just take a chance. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen if you just go? If like some people are scared to just go to the gym.
Give it a try. Yeah.
They're just afraid to go to a public gym. They're afraid. They don't know what they're going to do. They don't know. Just
go.
Do it.
And don't be afraid to ask. But like you have a daughter, yeah?
And a son.
Yeah. But so many people, especially like in Europe, soccer is so big, like football here or basketball. So most of the parents, fathers especially, they want their sons to be the next Lewandowski, next Neymar, next Messi. They put tons of pressure on them, and they are like, no, he wants karate or he wants this. Just let him go and try. Mm-hmm. Don't make a decision for your child, It's important to give them options, to push them a little bit, but let them try different sports or try just different things.
Do you feel like your parents were supportive in this way?
Yes and no. They were very supportive, but I remember, so I told you about my first sparring 3 months after I started training. And my father saw me like with the tissue in my nose because I was bleeding, and my sisters, 2 of my sisters, say, Asha won, JJ won, JJ won. My father looked at me like laying on the couch. He was laying on the couch. He was on the couch. He said, girls don't fight. You can't do this. I'm like, watch me, Nana. So this was like, okay, now I'm gonna show you. now I'm gonna show you. And that was the thing, but they were struggling seeing me fighting.
What does he say now?
Oh, my father came to the States for the first time in 2020. Imagine. He was watching me fighting Weili Zhang live. When I saw my father after the fight, after he saw me, I saw tears in his eyes, and he was like, what you just have done, girl? And he was like, you don't have to. So I was like, I got back to my apartment. And my friends were there. Like 40 people came from Poland. Some of them, they left because it was super late. Because I was in the hospital. It took a few hours. But I was back. I was like, everyone was sad. They didn't know what to say. They were like, oh, you're good, you're good. I was like,
I'm great.
somebody die.
Right.
So it's like
Yeah.
room service, drinks, cocktails, chicken wings. My physical therapist was massaging me. I was like, people,
This is the one when you
we
had
win,
the,
we
like, the
lose. Yeah,
big
yeah, yeah,
thing,
that
right?
was
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
But you know, and my father that time was like, he took me like on the side and he was, you don't have to like, they came for you, but you don't have to like host them. You don't have to, just take care of yourself. Like I saw, he was scary, you know, he was crying because his little baby was hurt. Like, Daddy, we're fine. Now it's time to have fun, you know. I was dancing there a little bit too hard in the octagon, so yeah, they were very supportive. I would not make it here without my parents, the support. My mom, she never watched my fights, and my older sister, she came to a few fights, but she was always like this, you know. But I'm very blessed with my brother-in-law. He was cornering me a few times. He's not into the sport, but I needed this extra person, you know, this extra pair of eyes.
Is he the same one as the one that brought you? No, probably not.
No,
the one,
no, different.
Okay.
He's from my
I was
twin
like, that'd
sister.
be a
No.
story.
But yeah, that's the thing. But you know what? I remember when my older sister. So when I was competing in Muay Thai, there was not Polish Muay Thai Association, so I had to pay for all my trips, world championships, like $2,000, and I was like, at the age of 18, 19, you don't have this money, you can't afford it. So I worked my ass so hard. And I remember my friend, my older sister, she worked in Germany just to make some extra money for like before she went to college. She gave me this €1,000, and I spent on like championships, and I lost to Valentina Shevchenko. And you know, my parents were like, "You're spending all this money to represent the country, and you don't get anything back." But I was like, one day I will make a living out of it, you know, and I will buy houses and cars for us. And I told this to my brother-in-law, who was with my sister already. And he looked at me, and I don't know if he believed or not. He's saying that he believed in me. And he's like, I believe you. And it happened. And I say that was the best investment of my sister, you know, this €1,000. I had so many, like I had a bunch of like up and downs after, you know. But I was struggling a lot first 10 years, first decade of being a martial artist. But yeah, now I want to give anything I can to my family, you know. Yeah.
So good to be in a
position.
position.
It was the best investment. And you know what? I'm very blessed with my family because they never ask for. You know, sometimes when you get like rich, when you get popular, people just want to get an advantage of you, you know, friends. Or, of course, I lost some friends. I lost some family members because they stole my money or they did shitty things to me. But I'm very blessed with the family.
They say that you changed. That's what
of course.
People don't understand is actually
my manager saw like 250,000 Polish zlotych from me. Like, I'm like, really? Really?
Yeah.
It was my cousin. And you know what I was sad about? That I lost the money. I like, okay, the money, I'm gonna make it back. But I lost a friend, you know, family member. It's like, how shady. So lately, I lost my best coach, my best friend, my coach, because somebody's manipulating him, creating some stories. I was like, where is loyalty? Where is friendship? Where is everything we approach in life? Because someone told you some? I'm like, first thing you do, you come and you talk to your people, you know, and I'm very loyal. That's number one rule in my life, loyalty.
Yeah.
And there are people who I give my life for, you know, like that's the thing. I hate this.
I've had people use this or heard this phrase, or even to me, you know,
the best revenge is serve cold.
You've changed. Oh, let's go.
It's karma, guys.
But they tell you, you know, like, oh, you know, you've changed. But it's like,
no.
But I didn't. I feel like, well, yeah, I mean, we change because we grow, you know, but it's more like,
even if you meet someone, if you partner with someone,
things you never asked me for before. So you think because I worked hard, because my face is bloody, because my nose is broken, because my body's broken, that you like I owe you something now, and now because I don't want to give you this,
because he was a friend,
advantage. Then I am the one who
that's
changed,
shady.
you know?
That's shady.
Yeah.
That's shady. I met people like this many times, yeah.
I realize why people who get more famous get more like
Oh,
closed.
oh
you know?
yeah, definitely. That's why I keep my sisters, my brother-in-law, and I have really few best friends. I keep close. There were people who came. I thought they were friends, but friends. Uh, when someone when you have a friend has a big meaning. You know, it's a big thing. They are colleagues. Usually, the people are just colleagues.
Yeah. No,
not
friends are the
friends.
family you choose.
Yeah, but friends can be family. You know, sometimes you have better relationship with your family friends than family, you know.
Mhm.
But what I wanted to say about like when you married to someone, or when you have a relationship with someone and you've been together for like 10 years, for example, you both are different humans 10 years after, you know. You started dating, for example, or you got married, you know, and we all have to adjust somehow, you know. But sometimes people change like 180 degrees, you know, and sometimes then one day we wake up and we do not recognize person we were living for the last 10 years, you know. That's difficult, you know.
I think
This
so
is
too.
difficult, yeah.
I think life is difficult, but
But
I
guys,
think
just walk. So what I have learned, I give a lot, but so what I do, I get as much as I can. But there are people like we were talking about relationships, that people taking advantages. How we say
advantage.
advantage from us, advantages. Is it like that?
Taking
Advantage,
advantage
advantage from
of
us,
Yes.
of us. But these bad relationships, bad situations, they teach us some. So I try to get as much as I can from this momentum, relationship, friendship. It might not last forever, but I can learn from and just be better. And so I will know more about myself and what I really like, and so I can create better environment around me. You know, that's a good thing.
You know, Joanna, with your recent induction into the UFC Hall of Fame and everything that you've done inside of the sport, I know you've talked about what people saw of you, you know, that they may have thought, oh, she was a bully, she was this or that. But like, what do
But
you
they don't
want your
know me.
legacy to be though? Like, what do you want that to be? Like you have, you know, an opportunity
Yeah.
now for so much, and it doesn't stop here, you know. Like, what are you working towards? Like, what does your legacy mean in fighting, but what does it mean as a woman? And I guess that could also be like a piece of advice
Yeah.
for people looking to be great in their own way.
I think it's also because of the UFC politics and the way they treat female and male fighters. Like back in the day when I was competing in Muay Thai, even if I was like a few times multiple Muay Thai world champion, I was getting like smaller money because I was a girl, I was a woman. And in the UFC, you doesn't matter if you male or female fighter, we all get the same, and it's all up to us how we gonna manage our careers. But if you fight for the UFC, people who watches you, they know, people who watch you, they know you are one of the best MMA fighters, because you in the UFC, especially when you go up in the ranking, you fight for the belt, you becoming the champion. They know you, the champion, but they want to hear more about you. So guys, tell story, you know, tell story what you like, who you are, what you do outside the gym, the octagon. But I'm proud that I succeed. So what I want to tell people, I want to send a message that this is what I have said in the beginning of this conversation. No matter who you are, what's your gender, orientation, color of your skin, religion, the status of your family, just go there and do your thing, you know. Do not hurt anybody, because karma is a bitch, but just be yourself and enjoy the ride, you know. And yes, you can become the UFC world champion, you know. Even there is tons of people telling you you can't do this, you know, but set your own world championship and feel good about it, you know. Even if people will cut your wings, you just fly higher, you know, and higher. Just you will have to try harder, but you can do it. I'm telling you. So, and I'm proud of the hashtag, like hit like a girl or punch like a girl, you know. We can fight, and I feel like we fought in the same era, and you're still fighting, but we brought the female the women's MMA to different level, even mainstream media level, you know. Also because of Ronda Rousey. But yeah.
What did you
that's the
think of
thing.
her recent comments, by the way? Like do you think she's able to like have a growth mindset, like look back on
Oh,
herself?
what was the comment that she doesn't like people doesn't like her? Do
It
not
was,
like
it
her?
was, yes, I'll paraphrase, but it was along the lines like, you know, that she still believes, no, she knows no matter what, she was the greatest fighter. And then, you know, she talks about, and that wouldn't be the part that I would even care to debate, you know, it's more like the part where she looks at it like the reason that she lost, you know, was something else. I feel like she slipped down the stairs, so she was concussed, so, you know, so this was the reason that she lost. And then the hate from everybody. But I don't feel like, I look at it and I don't feel like there was that much hate when she lost, but maybe it's just how
Maybe
she
because of
interprets,
she was
you know?
hiding. That's why. Maybe because of she didn't come to people and she didn't talk. I remember Lene. I love Lene. And when I lost to Rose, she came to my locker room, and I was like, "Oh, give me 5 minutes. I will be ready for the press conference." She was like, "No, you don't have to do it." I was like, "No, Lene. Good or bad, I have to go there with the tears in my eyes. I have to just go there and deliver. That's it, you know." And maybe I can't judge on her. She felt she did what she felt, but but yeah, but somehow you can't hide. You know, people are with you for good and bad. Some of them they leave,
I think there's
but
so many
you have
people
to.
that still like love her.
Oh, they do,
That's
and
the
I
thing.
love her. You know, I think she one of the greatest. Of course, there's Amanda Nunes,
Without a doubt.
too bad,
It's
but for
not
me,
even
Ronda
like,
Rousey is the greatest. She cleared the patch.
Mhm.
Is it correct? Yeah. And I'm thankful. Like, and I had the pleasure to be on the card with her promoting UFC 193, and this is what we were talking about. People were shitting on Dana for putting two female fights as a common and main event at the Etihad Stadium in the front of 55,000 people. We broke their records, you know. It was great. So, yeah, we delivered, and this is what I'm proud the most, probably, you know, that oh, girls can fight, like, and now we headlining the shows. This is what I'm proud of. I'm proud of like Polish flag on the UFC belt because of probably my success, you know,
yes.
and I'm proud of it. And I'm yeah. So girls, just don't let people tell you you can't do something. You know, if I was not a MMA fighter, I always wanted to play soccer. I know female soccer is big in the US. It's growing in Europe. It's big actually now, but back in the day, so only boys play soccer. Only boys fight. Like in 21st century, there is no sports or jobs for only men or women. We can do whatever we want to do. You know,
And I
there
think
are sports or jobs dominant by men or women, but there's no gender in this. You know, you know, you can go and do whatever. So, uh, so, so yeah. But there was a time I felt like a little bit ashamed, like, oh yeah, oh you tomboy. I felt like 100% woman, like in the octagon on the mat with my braids on. I hate braids, but you know, you can be yourself, girl. Even on the field,
yes.
on the soccer field, do whatever you want to do.
Somebody
You know?
asked me recently, and we'll be in closing, but you know, how did you keep your femininity and be a fighter? And I said, I never even thought.
Forget
I was
about.
just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
never
never lose
forgot.
it.
Just because it was mostly boys doing this or men doing this didn't mean that
Because
I was like,
our
I was
body
still
get
like,
changed when we train. You know, we get skinnier. We have all these braids, mean face, mean and lean. But yeah, we go home. We hug our boyfriends or
yeah.
partners
or our puppies, or
yeah, we play. You know, that's the thing. You know, so
Yeah.
it's just part of our lives, guys. We are not only
who you see in the octagon.
MMA fighters. Yeah. We are something more. We are humans, and we all are special. We all, guys, we all are special. We all are different stories. Every single. We might look like, We might have a twin sisters or brothers. We might act the same. We might be born the same place, the same day, but we all are different, and special.
That's a great way
And
to
being
close.
weird means good, guys.
It
Means
is.
you're original
Different.
and special. Be weird.
Be weird,
Love
be
it.
genuine, be different, be authentic, be yourself. It's a good way to close.
It is.
Maybe a fist bump
Oh,
on that.
thank you. That's a pleasure.
Thanks, champ.